Today, I'm going to introduce you to a serial closer.
Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest.
So, are you a serial killer or a serial closer? Why Grand Polo?
Talking about exclusive with the only royal community near the airport, 56,000 square feet clubhouse, huge polo arena, the biggest tables, biggest horse parking. Out of the four-wheelers that I sold, whomever bought from me, they didn't, had a great objection on the pricing.
And I want that kind of people, like who are not asking question about prices.
USH has been great support.
Good morning and welcome to Union Square House one more time. You might have heard about serial killers, but today I'm going to introduce you to a serial closer. So, welcome on the show, Mr. Anuj Dawar from Union Square House, who has just closed 4 deals in Grand Polo, EMAAR Grand Polo, by the way. So, welcome, Anuj. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Nalin. Thank you for having me here. And it is so nice of you to have a good introduction for me. And thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed, to be honest.
So, are you a serial killer or a serial closer?
Well, I mean, coming from your mouth, I mean, I'll take it as a praise, so as to say. And I mean, I mean, touch wood, the closing has been good for me, and God has been kind. USH has been great support,
All right.
and yeah, I'm happy about the deals that I'm doing, and I'm happy with the work. My customers are happy, and that's all what we require.
Before I come to Grand Polo, I would want to know, where did you get these people? How did you get these people?
Well, Nalin, I think sales is all about hard work. And I always, tell to even anybody who is asking for me, how to do sales in the best of the manner. Then, I think follow up is the main key. And I have been into the market from almost 8 to 9 years now doing real estate. And I think I will give the maximum weightage to follow ups. Where if you start a conversation with any new client or existing client, even existing client, it doesn't happen that even I'm handling a client from last 4 years or 5 years. At the first case, when I offer the project, they take a decision right away. No, we have to make them understand. And most importantly, I think more than logic, the sale is about emotional connect with you and with the project that you're offering. So
Okay.
for obvious reason, we have to offer at least at one point of time 2 to 3 projects before we actually land up to closing a deal. And so it's all about follow-ups, and hard work is what I strongly believe.
So if I was your client, then why Grand Polo? Or I should say EMAAR's Grand Polo and Resort.
Well, EMAAR Grand Polo, I believe, is a very, very exclusive project. And coming from the top developer like EMAAR, who has a proven track record. The area which you talk about, Grand Polo, it's of course near the Al Maktoum Airport, where we're seeing the shift of the complete business going to Dubai South area, and in next 3 4 years we are expecting about 35% of GDP of Dubai coming from that area. Coming on to Grand Polo, I think it's a very niche, exclusive, and I will add a word, royal community. So I strongly believe that within this ticket size of 6, 7, 8 million entry point, I think this happens to be the only royal community near the airport. And as we all know, that Grand Polo is a rich men's sports. So anybody who loves playing polo, or who loves who decides to live in a ready community, which is a royal community near the airport, then I think this is the only community. I don't see any competition for Grand Polo, bearing in mind this is one of the this will going to be one of the largest polo community in the world,
Yep.
which is, I think, they're going to send so many benchmarks with the 56,000 square feet clubhouse, and huge polo arena. You talk about one of the biggest tables, biggest horse parking. So the footprint that this community is going to leave, I don't think so it's easy to match by any other developer coming into picture. And Imar being one of the biggest developers, doing a replica of, or doing better than this will not be easy for sure, because every developer does not have the capacity to make such a community. So I think this will be having a monopoly for a long, long time, I strongly believe. And entry point, right now, what we are foreseeing in this one, like the first wave started off with around about 5.6, 5.86 million dirham for a 3 bedroom villa, which were very limited. And overall, also total number of villas, if you see, it's hardly 6,600 in the whole community.
Correct.
So the supply is very less. About 22 clusters we are talking about, out of which quite many have been launched. And of course, the price is increasing with every phase. So EMAAR is, controlling the whole master community and the pricing, so as to say. Uh, yeah, I mean, talking about exclusivity, and in the past also, Nalin, we have seen that anything which is exclusive, which is having limited supply, have appreciated 20 to 30% more because of simple economic reason that when the supply is less, the demand is more. And naming few, you go in the past, something. If I talk about even like a Bulgari resort in Jumeirah Bay, it got appreciated humongously. Four multiple of the price, minimum four multiple to five multiple of the price of which what it was like, launched. So not only it was the reason that it is on the sea, but also because of the reason that Bulgari properties, if you see, are so limited across the world. So Grand Polo, I will try to match with such a community where Grand Polo community across the world are so limited. And as I said, every developer does not have that capacity to make on a huge level.
But don't you think an appropriate comparison will be something within Arabian ranches, again an Imar community which has done really well? Because with Bulgari we get the Bulgari brand name.
Hmm.
So how do you see it, placed between an Arabian ranches or an Emirates Hills? I mean, how do we compare? Because
Okay.
because people will be, like, uh, I'm an agent myself, and people always compare products with these two, parameters, Arabian ranches or an Emirates Hill. So how do you see it going forward?
So, Naren, answering your question about Arabian ranches and Grand Polo, the major difference is that Arabian ranches, so as to say, does not have a particular highlighted feature. If we talk about Grand Polo, it is themed around that Grand Polo fields where approximately about 10 to 12% of the area has been only given to the infrastructure, to the polo fields. And, there are villas, facing the equestrian polo as well. So, those are equestrian polo villas. So, if you talk about Arabian ranches, there is not a particular highlighted feature. Yes, there are facilities which is catering to the different needs of the people, but one major highlighting feature is not there. That's the major difference. And even Grand Polo, if you want to make a comparison, we can make a comparison with a community like a Dubai Hills, possibly,
Okay.
which has a highlighted feature of a golf course. So, as we have seen historically, the golf course communities has appreciated 20 to 30% extra than the normal communities. And we talk about always 3 years, 4 years down the line. So today, if you invest in a community like Grand Polo, by the time it is ready, with the increasing jobs in Dubai South, we are seeing, and with the increasing, requirement of work as well and the business as well, and that being a free zone area. So I think Dubai government is altogether growing that area with a great vision. And I'm sure, Grand Polo will be one of the, a pinnacle of that area, bearing in mind the exclusivity it carries and one of the largest polo communities, so as to say. So, I mean, comparisons, I think, of Grand Polo maybe can be made with, Dubai Hills.
Dubai is just,
With the ticket sizes, when Dubai Hills was launched, or if today, if we talk about Dubai Hills, four-bedroom villa is hovering around 10 billion dirham. So,
or probably more. You never know.
or probably more. It's continuously increasing, and end of the day, EMAAR in itself is a huge brand where people have a lot of trust with EMAAR, and it's a proven track record. People have made humongous money as far as EMAAR communities are concerned, and they have a proven track record not only in one community but in so many.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, yeah.
So many of them.
They have proven themselves multiple times. So
Yes.
so tell me some, there are certain phases that have been launched in Grand Polo so far. What is the difference, and between different categories, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, what are the difference? And I heard that you can keep your horses if you have one of them. You can keep your horses in the stable as well. Is that true?
Well, to be honest with you, there is not a confirmation written thing from EMAAR for horses to be kept. You can keep your horses in the stable, but obviously, EMAAR always will definitely have some kind of value addition for the clients, and they will definitely try to pamper the people who are living there.
Right.
And that's why today we see people are so much EMAAR pro, and they sometimes so many buyers call me and they say, I want only property from EMAAR, just tell me everything. So that's the power of EMAAR, so as to say. Apart from that, talking about the different categories, of the villas and the layouts which were launched. So, as we have seen, always any new community getting launched, and especially with EMAR, the first phase is the one to enter. So, in the first phase, they actually had launched the best product, the independent villa, at the starting per square feet price. Which was Chevrolet Estate one, so as to say, and then subsequently they launched multiple clusters in Monterey as well. So there they actually launched the independent villa at the starting per square feet price. Post that they launched Silvara 1,
Two,
2, 3, and 4 as well. And Silvara basically was detached villa and semi-detached villa. Then recent cluster was Chevrolet Estate 2, which is again independent villa, but the price has been already increased approximately 1 million dirham for a four-bedroom villa, so as to say. But these are purely independent villa. So as we are, getting the more and more launches, of course, by the end of 22 cluster, complete community will be sold out. So I think it's a very good time to enter even now, because still we are buying off plan directly from EMAAR, which makes a lot of sense. And I suppose, I mean, we are it's having a great potential. I tell to all my clients, whenever we are foreseeing or eyeing a potential of a particular community, the most important thing which matters is, of course, the exclusivity part of it, and of course is backed up by, as we are discussing, great developer EMAR. And especially with Mar, whatever they, in terms of the facilities they commit, they deliver like that. So it's as good as, when you're buying a property on paper with Mar, it's as good as you're buying, in real, and you can believe on almost everything what they say.
You're talking about the potential part. We'll come to that.
Hmm.
But just take me through you. We were talking about you closed four. Just take me through one of the conversation, because when you're being an agent, again myself, there are multiple questions that come from the client. You have to answer those queries. What were some of the queries, I would say, not objections, that you faced during one of your conversations, and what was your response to them? I mean, if you can just take us around that.
Okay. So see, any client who understand the concept of Grand Polo and understand the royalty part of it, they are not going too much into pricing for sure. So our discussion with the serious client who are interested in buying Grand Polo, they were never going into deep conversation that justify the price for it, because they know the exclusivity part of it, and there are not many Grand Polo communities across the world, and this being one of the largest makes a lot of sense, right? So they know that whatever price they buy, 100% the potential is at least of 2 to 3 multiple in next, let's say, 8 to 10 years, and upon handover, definitely amazing appreciation. And most importantly, as we talk about, there has to be an exit plan for any investor or end user who is buying the property. So with exclusive community like a Grand Polo and with Imar, people felt a lot of safety.
No, so what
While
were the type of questions they were asking you? I mean, that's a separate thing. You were telling them it's a
So,
royal community,
hmm.
but what were the kind of questions they were asking you?
Sure. So, I mean, they were all okay about the community, but obviously, location, they wanted to have more justification. Where, of course, fine, it's near the Al Maktoum airport, a lot of jobs are getting created, a lot of infrastructure is building up, a lot of businesses are moving up there. It's a free
Correct.
zone area, yes. But then, of course, the major question, in terms of the connectivity, so, it's falls.
No pricing at all.
To be honest, whomever bought from me, they didn't, had a great objection on the pricing,
Wow.
barring one customer. I think out of the four villas that I sold, apart from one customer, I don't think so that, and many other customers were actually,
What
asking
were what
too much about the
what
pricing.
was his apprehension? Because even I want that kind of people, like who are not asking question about prices.
Yes, so answer to that is, I mean, you should also invest time to the right customer. That's very important, right? Every person whom we are talking is not a customer. We always learn from every customer, but then every customer is not, the customer whom we can invest the time on. So that is very important. So Yeah, I mean, that's a kind of let's say, a luxury that we can have in today's time after spending so many years in the market, that we can follow up with the right customers, and we have that understanding, whom to invest more time upon. uh, so basically, in terms of objections, location justification, as we
You
see.
mentioned
So,
location.
we
Yeah, yeah.
spoke about the connect.
We have already
It's,
discussed.
the access is there, in fact, from Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road, from Sheikh Hamdan bin Nayan Street, and even the Lebab Road. So all these three roads, we can basically, that's like closer to, that area. And DIP area itself, it's growing a lot.
Anything
We're
about
seeing the
anything about the payment plan?
Yes, I think that's a good question. That's one of the apprehension. Definitely, the buyers had that the payment plan is 80/20, and every buyer, they do their homework properly, and they check the payment plan
Correct.
which are available in the market.
ChatGPT has made it so easy for everybody.
Yeah, so my answer to those clients were that, not only this project, but almost every project, EMAAR is offering 80/20 payment plan.
Right.
And because of the kind of reputation that EMAAR carries, and people, want to buy with EMAAR. So yes, people are ready to accommodate with the payment plan, and whomever can afford, they're ready to go because they want a good unit. So whomever was buying me from Grand Polo, their major requirement was that get us a good unit. That was a major requirement. And payment plan, yes, but then my answer was always that, with almost every project, not this exclusive project, but IMAR projects are so good that people buy from IMAR, and they don't do so much of comparison in terms of a developer who is not doing great in the market and giving an easy payment plan, or whose reputation is not great, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, one apprehension definitely was there, which was the payment plan.
Right.
But
Right.
I was able to, cope up with that.
So, what, according to you, is a good unit? Like, if somebody is watching and they would want to understand that next time I want to choose a good unit in a master community like this, what, according to you, is a good unit?
See, to be honest, when we talk about a good unit, there is a very, in terms of sometimes we go too much into getting a good unit or showing a good unit. I mean, a statement that I want to give is every unit is a good in the cluster. It is just that sometimes we think about, okay, if the client has to get an early exit. So whenever I sell a property to the customer, I never say that, I will sell it in 1 year or resell it in 1.5 years. I at least, give them a timeline of 2 to 3 years, where, I tell them that, give the time for the market to react. So nobody can predict the exact future, or nobody can do the exact forecast how much it's going to appreciate, or it's going to be stable for next 1 year. It depends on the market conditions as well. But as we've seen in the past, that anything adversely happening, in the geopolitical world has rather have a positive impact in Dubai and UAE for that matter. And UAE has now become a part of BRICS as well, which is a great news for us. And UAE was invited, to be a part of BRICS, which is again a great news, which will help in the not only economy boosting, but also currency as well. So a good unit, as I spoke about, we can't go into depth of, okay, one has to get a good unit only, because I believe all the units are good in the cluster. But only thing where I was mentioning that, if client has to get an early exit, then at least at some premium, we can resell it earlier if the client wants to, exit early because of financial requirements, or it can be anything in 1.5 years. That's where a good units play a major role. And answering the question, what's a good unit, then, generally what I can talk about, something near the facility, something like a single row unit where there is no will at the back, and something like, facing the facility. Or let's say, in this Grand Polo, of course, the best unit will be, facing the Equestrian Polo Club, the
But
Equestrian
not all of them can be facing that side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But and everybody cannot afford also, that kind of villa,
But because it'll have a
it's
premium
now
to
about
it. Yeah.
18, 19, 20 million,
Right.
right, this kind of a pricing basically.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, a good unit depends on what the strategy is.
But the strategy is sometimes clients' requirement are a Vastu unit. So sometimes the Vastu units are not exactly near the facility, but they want a Vastu unit. So it depends upon client need as well. But generally, as a market perception, which is easy to resell, is obviously a single row unit which is near to the facility or facing the facility, something like that, not on the outer periphery. So,
Right.
But end of the day, when the community becomes ready or it's near to handover, price of every unit increases. So I don't want to go into depth of good units and not good units, because I believe all the units in the cluster are good only, and every client, I believe, should buy from the perspective of keeping the property, at least for 2 3 years, and not looking for an early exit, because that will, be actually time wasting for that client and the money wasting, because 1.5 years, 1 years, you can't really, predict, a very good appreciation.
But let's say if everything is going safe, which I personally feel everything is on track. I mean, the market is maturing, and whatever turbulence we see in the geopolitical area, Dubai and UAE has been performing well. What are your projections? Like till handover, I'm sure the question would have been popped by the investors also. What are your projections that how much appreciation are we going to see till handover? I mean, I know it's vague. Any you cannot put a number or a percentage to it. You cannot predict the future. There's no magic ball to it that okay, this is going to happen, crystal ball. But still, what are the numbers that you are suggesting, and what you believe in is possible?
See, next 4 to 5 years, because Dubai economy has become so strong, and it's even going more stronger with the 2033 and 2040 agenda in mind. And the government vision is so clear, and the government is so supportive, in everything. So they're not just, they're of course increasing the real estate and the infrastructure, and apart from that, the ease of business what we face, and so many millionaires coming from different countries in Dubai,
Yeah,
and the data is there. It's in front of everybody that, so many nationalities live, happily out here.
correct.
So in next 4 5 years, I think, because the market has already become matured, and it's, further becoming, further growing only. And if you talk about, I'll give you an example of, Dubai land, let's say. So 10 years back, people used to think that, Dubai land is very far, and we don't want to buy a property here. We want to live near downtown, near main city. But the fact is that, the plots have already got exhausted in the near the main city. So, if we talk about Dubai land now, there are, if you talk about that stretch, from Emirates Road connecting to the Al Qudra Road and going further, there are at least, 25 to 30 communities which are, either ready or under construction. And today, I mean, the pricing have increased more than 100% in that area. So that is an average I'm talking about. Some communities have even go, three multiple as well. If you talk about Tilal Al Gaf, it has touched three multiple. So, going further, I think, in terms of the supply also, which is increasing. So one thing I think the buyers need to understand is that whatever supply is coming now, they will be catering to the increased population, which is increased now. If we talk about the population of, the numbers, it has already touched 4 million. So and if I talk about in last 3 4 years, around, 250 to 300,000 people have, the population have increased in Dubai.
Right.
So going further down the line, whatever launches are happening today, it will be, delivered after 4 years. Any new launch which is happening will be delivered about 3 to 4 years on an average. So that will be catering to the increased population, which will increase from now in next 4 years. So that is the main, understanding that the buyers needs to have, and on the basis of that, they can make the decision as per the budget, they have.
No, but my question was, what is your projection? What do you see? Like you have to put a number.
See, nobody can tell an exact number, to be honest with you. That's a kind of a dilemma putting me into.
Devil's advocate.
But I think, I mean, for the moment, I'll stick to Grand Polo, and I think Grand Polo has an amazing potential where, at least you can expect, that's again an expectation and profit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Give,
Yeah,
you can expect, 70 to 75% return on your equity from now onwards, because
at the time of handover.
yeah, because definitely we cannot, have a comparison for what was launched during the COVID time. That was a kind of a pandemic in which, all the low price properties were getting offered, and now it has increased, three multiple also some of the communities. But to be realistic, one has to be really, practical about making this decision for the appreciation points. What we can expect is what I'm telling you is about, I think, 75% on the investment what they're making uh, is what I
At the
strongly
time of it, which is 4 years.
at the time of handover, which is 4 years, absolutely, and more infrastructure will be also,
Right,
ready in
right.
the Dubai South area with the increased businesses around there.
Right. So, we are moving towards the end of it, end of our conversation. But before we do that, I would like to, like whatever you have told me so far, whatever theories are there in the market, even I have, my few points which I feel are essential to understand if somebody is getting into Grand Polo. So few reasons, and please add in once I'm done whatever you feel I'm missing out on. So few reasons to buy Grand Polo, as you've clearly mentioned, the location. Clearly, it is near in south of Dubai, where it is near the upcoming new airport, Al Maktoum Airport, which is the place which is surrounded by a lot of you know business centers. Now, when I say business centers, it is DIP, it is DIC, it is Logistics City, it has Javza Port. So that entire location is, you as you are mentioning, and plus it is the connectivity because it is connected with so many roads over there. The second thing that I personally feel is that one interesting point I found out when I was doing the research was that the plot prices, like if anybody has to develop, the plot prices have increased 3 times in the last 10 years. So whatever plot any developer, let's say EMAAR in this case, bought in 2014 at 350 dirhams per square feet, these are average numbers. Uh, Today, the same plot will be trading at somewhere around 1100 square feet. So I believe if there are people who are looking for villas, independent villas to be precise, these are one of the biggest plot sizes you're going to get as of today. Going further down, the plot sizes in this particular room category are going to go down. It is going to shrink. Anything above this, like a 5,000, 6,000 square feet plot for a 3 bedroom villa, is going to be in a super premium crack category. So I feel that going down the line, next 3-4 years, these plot sizes are going to shrink, or even if they remain the same, they are going to be part of the luxury. Today they are affordable, but maybe down the line, they become luxury. And lastly, I would say people that follow the money. Government is pumping almost 125 billion dirhams in the airport.
Correct.
They are making the metro. Believe in that vision. Uh, it is a unsaid rule that like in our schools and colleges, we were taught that follow the money wherever the money is going. I think this is one of the biggest examples. As you mentioned, the 35% of the GDP is going to come from that region.
Correct.
So whatever we make over there is going to get absorbed. These are my deductions. If I've missed out on anything, please do add anything.
No, Nalin, you were absolutely bang on, and thank you for sharing such a crucial data. And most importantly, I think the finishing line I can say is like anybody who is looking to live in a royal community near the airport, I think this is the only one with this ticket size.
Right.
That's very
Right.
important. So
Right.
once obviously once the infrastructure and the project is ready, it gives you a different feeling altogether. That's why there's a difference in thinking of people who buy off plan and people who buy ready. So these are two different categories of buyer which are there. So I'm sure this will really be
So
a
it is
pinnacle in Dubai South.
So it is a 3 bedroom villa, independent villa in 6 to 7 million category in Grand Polo.
That was in the first phase. It was
First phase.
already sold out.
Right.
From that time till now, they have not launched any more 3 bedroom. But for the moment, the last cluster we sold were like 4 and 5 bedroom villas basically
Right. Right.
in Grand Polo. And now we are let's see. I mean, the more launches will be coming, so we can expect something best only out of it. I think I can only say that get into it now before it the further the price increases and
Correct.
the supply gets exhausted.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean,
So as you've heard, more launches are coming, more phases are coming. And if you're interested to know more about Grand Polo, if you're interested to know more about south of Dubai, if you're interested to know when is the next launch happening, you know who to get in touch with. You can get in touch with Anuj, or you can get in touch with me as well if you want. That's absolutely fine. But thank you for listening. If you have any questions, any comments, please do post them. And thank you, Anuj, for having us.
thank you so much, Nalin,
Thank you.
for giving your time and having this beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Hope to see you soon again.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.